Hi, I'm Sheila Balgobin, and I'm known as the Dream Decipherer. But before I tell you about how I became the Dream Decipherer, let me ask you a question. Has a dream ever saved your life? My dreams actually literally saved mine. And if I hadn't listened to them, I would not be sitting here today making this recording. So, when I say that I believe in the power of dreams, I believe it with all my heart and soul. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why that is in just a few minutes. But I'd like to share with you some interesting facts about dreams that you may not know. Did you know that most people will forget 50% of their dreams in the first 5 minutes after waking? Even me. And I work with dreams all the time, but it's very common. Unless we make an effort and do certain things to help us to retain memories of dreams, we often forget most of them within the first few minutes of waking. Another thing is that lucid dreaming, or dreaming where you're aware you're dreaming, can be useful for creativity and problem solving. It's used quite frequently to help people deal with post-traumatic stress disorder and other traumatic events in general. The other thing is, did you know that dreams have been responsible for the creation of a number of things, from Google to sewing machines to Shelley's novel Frankenstein? Even Einstein's E equals MC squared came on the back of a dream. So dreams are also a means for us to be able to find new ideas, to create new things. There's a lot of energy and power in the unconscious mind waiting to be tapped. And if we don't turn our attention to it, it will make us pay attention by things like accidents, slips of the tongue, strange synchronicities, all kinds of things. But it's the unconscious saying, I've got a message for you, I've got some information for you, and I need you to listen. Dreams are just one of the ways that the unconscious will do this. But the reason why, me in particular, why I'm the dream decipherer is simply this. I was born that way. I'm a fifth generation dreamer, and what I term a dreamer is the women in my family have this gift of dreams to be able to help others in various ways. My particular gift has been able to understand and help people interpret their dreams. So it's not that I learned how to be a dream decipherer. I was born this way. It's my gift. And it's a gift that it took me many years to accept and be able to put to use with others. In fact, part of the reason why it drove me to become a psychotherapist, because I could talk about dreams all the time without people thinking I was crazy. So it was in coming back to myself and being who I was that I finally started to make use of my gift of being able to interpret dreams and teach people how to do it for themselves. But it wasn't until 2017 that I officially and openly claimed my heritage and began to work as a sleep and dream coach, in particular specializing in dream interpretation. It was on the back of a year. It was just the year from hell for me. Everything from deaths in the family to all kinds of things, financial meltdown, all kinds of stuff was going on. And I was literally raging at the universe, absolutely screaming at the universe that something had to change. What changed was a synchronicity that happened where I went to a conference that very weekend, which I hated, but it got me onto a women's retreat in Marrakesh. And I had 48 hours to prepare to go. But the universe spoke very loudly, and it was a transformative time for me where I finally realized that not only were there people who were interested in what I had to offer, would seek out willingly what I had to offer and valued it. And for the first time, I felt that it was something of value, that I was something of value. And so my journey, official journey as a dream decipherer began. But what it drives me about this is I see for myself and for my clients how using the power of their dreams and the messages that they can contain are not only a font of creativity, not only for a good psychological and emotional health and physiological health, and I'll come back to that in a minute, but just to see them returning to themselves and stripping away all the stuff, or start to strip away all of the stuff that was not truly them. And it's a lovely process to see, and it's a powerful way as well, because it's the wisest and deepest part of ourselves that knows all about us and knows what we require to be at peace and happy and flourishing, that's trying to speak to us. Dreams have a physiological as well as psychological function within us. On the physiological level, dreams or the dream stage forms a regular part of the sleep cycle, which goes between non-REM and REM sleep when we're dreaming, in cycles of some 90 minutes, various times during the night, some 4 or 5 times during the night. And if that normal stage of sleep is bypassed for whatever reason, it could be due to illness, it could be due to alcohol use or drugs or medication of some kind, various reasons why that stage, normal sleep stage, is bypassed, and therefore the dream stage isn't attained properly, it will create psychological problems. And one of the things that I observed personally as a drug and alcohol counselor is the impact of when people are not dreaming. While people are taking drugs or alcohol, they are repressing they're repressing memories. They're trying to forget. What happens is that the memories don't go away. They just get stuffed into in the closets of the mind. And once the means of repressing the memories, i.e. the drug or alcohol, are no longer present, all of that stuff comes jumping out of the closet and floods the conscious mind. The unconscious brings up so much material that the conscious mind becomes overwhelmed, and that will provoke what the psychotic even behavior of some people when they come off of drugs and alcohol, as their system just can't handle all that material that they tried to forget for so long, and the emotional fallout connected to it. But there's also, in terms of our emotional well-being, psychologically, it's absolutely vital that we dream. To give you an example, some research was done at the University of Chicago, and what the researchers found was that when they did sleep studies with a group of women who had been divorced and diagnosed as clinically depressed, the women who dreamt during a sleep study and were woken up when they were in REM sleep and actually dreaming and asked what they were dreaming about, it was usually about their ex or some aspect of their relationship. These women who dreamt recovered more completely and more quickly than the women in the other group who did not dream or could not remember their dreams. So the again, for our emotional health, our psychological health, dreams um, flag up issues that we need to consciously work through in order to be able to restore balance. Remember, the purpose of the unconscious mind is to be act as a counterbalance. There are various ways that can be access those deeper memories. But dreams are usually very gentle in that they will bring up only what psychologically we are able to deal with at a given moment. So it's like peeling the layers of an onion. You peel away some of the stuff that's on top and keep going. I mean, think of the mess you make if you dig straight into the middle of an onion. It's the same thing. You could actually do damage by doing that. I said we can only take but so much, and doing it gently through the dreams, which will tell us what's most important at a given moment, is the best way and gentlest way to be able to decipher what is going on with us at a deeper level. Even nightmares have a specific function. And it's quite funny when I work with people who have come to me because of nightmares, and we go through it and pick it apart and actually look at what the message is. They often say, "Is that all it is? Is that it?" So, I mean, there may be physiological reasons for having nightmares, including sleep apnea, which is obstructing our oxygen getting to the brain. But generally, even nightmares have a specific purpose. There's a message. It may be a warning, it just may be an expression of people's fears, but nevertheless, even they serve a function. My talk will be about the real reasons why we dream about our exes. And the first thing I have to say is that the people in our dreams are not necessarily themselves. They can be, but not necessarily. They represent, however, a symbol of something that resonates within us, and it appears, is dressed literally in a familiar face, in this case, an ex. And I'll be looking at some of the types of dreams that we'll be having, that people have, and what they could possibly mean for the dreamer. I really want to impress upon you that dreams are not just these airy-fairy things or the result of dodgy dinners and bad red wine, but they have a power and an intent and that intent is to bring us back into balance. Our unconscious mind acts as a counterbalance to our conscious mind. And I'll give you an example of that. Think of it, there was this character on Saturday Night Live years ago called the Church Lady. I'm showing my age, I know. But there's a church lady, and she was always down on everybody and their loose morals and this, that, and the other. But in the dreams, church lady was having wild sex parties with everybody and anybody. And that's what I mean about the unconscious mind acting as a counterbalance to the conscious mind. So the more out of whack we are unconscious during the day, the more out of whack and crazy our dreams seemed, in order to be able to show the imbalance, and hopefully, if we pay attention, bring us back somewhere in the middle that's a bit more sensible and even-handed. So we'll be looking at that and what the unconscious may be saying to people when they have certain dreams about their exes. There are certain dreams that are common to everyone. You know, things like sex, death, and mothers-in-law are common themes in virtually everybody on the planet. So hopefully during my talk we'll be able to actually take a couple of live calls or live questions where people will present questions about a specific dream, and I'll be able to give them some tips to be able to break the dream down and decipher the meaning behind the dream. Can't do a full consultation, unfortunately, because that does take time, and I do consult with immediately with the client to be able to really understand the dream and be able to decipher it. Once again, thank you for your presence. I look forward to sharing with you during the conference, and happy dreams. Make sure, though, if you do have a dream, get to the organizers and leave a question or leave a dream that you would like to have some help with. Thank you again, and see you soon.